Blessings to you all. My question tonight is crime on the rise in Jamaica. The police seeking two for questioning regarding a British woman who went to Jamaica. A little girl got raped by seven guys. There was also a little boy that was slapped several times, but we heard that they get the guys involved in that get arrested. So all that and more we'll be talking about tonight. I'm asking you guys to please like, share, and subscribe to Sutherland TV. You know, hear the background noise, Dr. Francis Ameki.
Big up Sutherland TV. You see me? You wanna be me? Then log on to Sutherland TV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here this evening to dissect some of the things that is happening in the Jamaican space right now. We're very much concerned if crime is on the rise, and we're wondering if it's politically related or not. Here tonight to discuss it with us is a very familiar face, not one of the most good-looking person, but he is indeed my friend, Dr. Rupert Francis.
Good evening, family, friends, people watching. Good to be back on. I've been out
Yes,
for
sir.
and I appreciate the welcome. Although sometimes you have to wonder about Dennis, but it's all right. My computer must apologize for the background. It's not that everybody called me the Labourite man, so you might as well the green. I'm not nobody's man as a I'm a Jamaican man.
Right.
You know, and I respect both all political aspirations, but at the same time, of course, we have our differences. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah. So
Dr. Francis,
tonight, yes, heard your first opening remarks in regards to we're having a crisis, and to be quite honest with you, I want Jamaicans to sit back and say, hey, you know, to ourselves, is this what we want for a nation? We're not trying to cast blame. We're not trying to say this or that, but some things really have to jolt you, you know. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that we have everybody who's listening here, and you can share it with as many people as possible. I just witnessed, just witnessed in the United States an election, and everybody was calling people's names and that sort of thing, and so on and so forth. I personally don't agree with all that sort of thing, the name calling. And if you have a point to make, you make it. And in this case, and I watched something last night for about an hour or two, two gentlemen talking, and they are influencers. One is Adam Tate, I think, and one was in fact a mafioso. Can't remember his name now, but it will come to me. And to be quite honest with you, they were there and they were talking about reality, you know, and that they love America, they love England. Both one is from England, but the fact of the matter is that if you love something, you will try to take care of it. And that's all I'm saying. And I think that's why we're here this evening to say, well, look, these things are happening, and we must examine once and for all why are they happening? Can we make a difference? Whether you're in the
Exactly.
United States or not, that's a quiet boy. You know, like you always say, it's a Trump boy, or it's a Biden. That's over for the time being. Anyway, it's not really over because, as you can see, what is happening. But I would encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to look at this country that we live in the United States, whether in Canada or the UK, and also we must look at Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean and say, okay, and look at other countries like El Salvador. How did they resolve their issues with crime? And whether you like it or not, some heinous crimes have been happening of late, and been happening for a long time. But the question is, why have we not resolved it? Why? And I'm going to close my first opening statement by saying, look, I have said many on this occasion, on this platform and others, if you do not start at the beginning, if you do not start with the children, where are you going to go? And so we have seen manifested now. I saw some children the other night brought in somewhere in Negril or whatever, and it brought tears. Oh, they were nicely dressed in the classroom, etc. Even when my colleague here, Dennis, visits, you see the children and they're so nice, and the principals are so proper and what have you. And yet to see something like that almost happen outside their classroom, you have to ask yourself why. Why is that? And I'm asking everybody tonight, not to cast judgment. Just say, is this okay? Is this how we're going to move forward? You know what I mean? These children are so beautiful. They are ready to learn. But remember, they learn both the positive and the negative. And there seems to be a lot of negative. And please, I know some Jamaicans are going to say, you see the boy again. I'm going to tell you this one. I saw a lady in the Parliament of England. I think she is the opposition leader or something. And she spoke about reparations and so on. And people said, can you imagine them let you down? They were this because the lady was saying, listen, we have to talk about Britain and so on and so forth and all that. Listen, to be quite honest with you, I didn't agree with her. But at the same time, I didn't agree with the comments. Because we have to understand that these nations, whether we like it or not, yes, they did a dirty on us. But we have to live. We have to show them that we're strong. We have to show them that we love our country. And we're going to continue the fight. We're not going to give up. And we're not going to accede. And we're not going to say, you didn't do it. But at the same time, there's a right and a wrong way. And I'm going to close at that for the time being. So I think what is happening with the children, let's close it. The thing with the children is a symptom of what is happening in the society from the beginning. And we have to start with the children, just as you're doing in your thing.
Dr. Francis, I must say thank you for that endorsement. And I call it an endorsement because you never hesitate to mention the things that me and my team is doing back home in Jamaica. And I really appreciate that. Good evening, Jean Murray. Now, let me ask you this, Dr. Francis. Can we talk about the issues and the violence in Jamaica without being political about it?
Very good question. Very good question. Before you do that, though, could you send me the link? I can send people who are out there who want to join in to a couple of areas, that I can send it out, because I'm sure people want to know. And for the next few minutes that we're on it, at least, can it? Your question is it always political, or is it not political?
Right.
Well, being honest, I don't think that every crime can be political. Okay. How deep the politicians are involved in crime, we really don't know. We can only speculate. In some cases, we do know. In some cases, but in some cases, we do not know. But let us take, for example, the beating of the child. That cannot be political. And one of my platforms, I saw somebody say, kind of, so what? What do you mean, so what? The level of beating that young man got, for what reason? And I'm sure they use sort of words like, he's a, you know what, you know what I mean? B-man and all that sort of thing. And shame the fellow. And shame him. And if you
just a quick update on that, Dr. Francis. Just to let everybody know that the 6 persons that was involved, they are arrested. The oldest one is 17, and the father of that little boy, I tried desperately to reach him. So if somebody can really reach out to him and have him contact me, I tried through the school. I went through the school, but I would like to talk to the father first.
Yeah, but may I suggest something, Dennis? May I suggest something? We have to find a way to talk to this father, because I heard he said something about the child, the girl, and I heard, but we have to find a way to talk to the nation. Obviously, they learned this from somewhere.
Don't ignore the fact that we have crime all over, but we also have the internet and the social media space and the YouTube, the X and all of that, where people are seeing these heinous crime too. So even though we're saying we need to the parent of these kids need to be looked at. You have to also understand that these kids are exposed outside of the realm of these parents with the
Yes.
whole technological
But
embracement.
Dennis, if
Yes,
you're
sir.
filling a bucket of water, you have to start at the bottom.
Okay.
You can't fill it and then unfill it like that. Unless there's a hole in the bucket, dear Eliza, there's a hole in the bucket. Now, we can always say that there's a hole in the bucket, but the fact of the matter is, this is why the world is in a chaos right now. Not us alone. The world is in chaos because there is a competition, it seems, between men and women, right, as to who is the boss. Right? And it seems to me that there is who's looking after the children? Who's looking after the children? And we know for a fact that if you have a child with a woman in Jamaica, for example, because we know of people like that, and you do not pay the woman no mind, as they say in Jamaica, that child is going to be abandoned for maybe a second child and a third. So what we're saying is the family, my brother, if we do not take care of the family from the beginning and involve the family like we did when we set a village to raise a child, we are in serious trouble.
But Dr. Francis, the days of when a village raised a child, which was the best thing ever, and that's how I recommend that it should be. But because of the embracement of the technological world and everybody have them unique way of viewing things and raising kids, so we cannot collectively raise kids anymore. So that is through the window. But why can't we look at the fact that the punishment for the most part for such crime in Jamaica, it's to resolve or prosecute is way less than 10%. Don't you think that's a contributing factor to where these people, not just the kids, just know that they can do things for the most part and get away with it? You think that's a concern?
Okay, what I'm saying is, it is a great concern. But the problem we're having is this, that we have to train up the children early in the way they must go. We cannot, what should I say, give up on our responsibilities. Because we
So
don't
you give up on our responsibilities. But are we saying that these kids are the 7 kids and 6 kids that did this? Are you saying that there are 6 parents that neglect the 6 families that neglect these kids?
Absolutely. They must have learned this somewhere. They must have seen this from somewhere, and they have no sense of, of smartness, so to speak, as to what they're being groomed to be.
I hear you, but it's and even though that could be a contributing factor, and I'm not challenging it being a contributing factor. I'm just saying there are just so many layers because right now you have a kid at home, Dr. Francis, right, with all the gadgets and everything that they're exposed to. They're out in the world.
Yes, but Dennis, what you see, you're gone a bit far here. What I'm saying is, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In other words, the training you get, the person is not going to get that. What you call it something. The telephone or the what do you call them?
The tablet and all that
Yes,
good stuff.
those things. They're not going to get them available and know what to do with them unless they're trained or seeing how they work. And in many areas, they don't have these tablets.
These things are taught in schools. These things are taught in school, and almost everybody have a smartphone now.
What is taught in school?
How to use these gadgets.
What I'm trying to say, by the time they know how to use these things, you have to train them the difference between right and wrong from the beginning, mold them. Because if you do not mold them, they are going to, who's going to be their guide? You see, when by the time they get to the instruments, yes, they're looking at some of these things on social media and what have you. But you have to have them frame them in such a way. I mean, okay, I have grandchildren, okay, and they're rambunctious, but you as the parent, right, have to set your standards that you're not gonna go. And when the child makes does something wrong, you have to be able to challenge that child and to say that this is wrong, and you have to pay the consequences every time. And no matter how we had it difficult, as you and I have discussed before, we must have had some degree of training and understanding about ethics, morality, etc., etc. It may not come early, but they will see the difference between right and wrong.
All right, and so all right, I'm gonna go down there with you. That's fine. But Dr. Francis, remember, we were from a stage when you and I was growing up. We're raised in a society where we're raised by a community. That's one. We were able to be punished by our parents without any challenge, anybody challenging the punishment, because it was standard that when we do something wrong, we get our ass whooped. That's how it was. That's a punishment that we would have received, and so we work against not getting that. You remember those days?
Yeah.
We also have where when we go to school, we used to have the teacher with the kid that walks around, and even in the class, I remember I get hit by from my teacher with one of them board eraser thingy. The teacher here and give me a good lick with it because I did something wrong. You have so.
But
Dennis, let me finish, Dr. Francis. Then you have at that time you have the police officers that would have carry out their jobs and their duty without any interruption from human rights and in the common all of those things. Now you're talking about those where the punishment is now removed. The parent can't punish the kid without getting arrested, because they then call the police. Now the teacher, they take away the whip from the teacher, and now the integrity of the police is tarnished, and also the police being pressured to apply, have to be careful of what he does, or else he himself would end up behind bars. So you realize it's a society that brings us to this point. It's not just the parents.
Listen to me. I already gave you the analogy that we cannot start from the top. We have to start from the bottom. And no matter which way you spin it, whether the teacher gets up, nowadays I dare you to go and hit a child, and that parent is well aware of it. Believe you me, they come back on the teacher, etc. So that's the whole idea, that we have to come to the point where we understand.
So the culture, we have a cultural dividend, Dr. Francis. I don't think I could point all the finger at the parents, and that's what I'm challenging.
No, because hold on, listen to my friend. Listen to what I'm trying. Some have no parents. Some have no parents. You remember the case of the guys that were washing cars and what have you, and they found them out of school and so, what are you doing here? Because they have to go and make some money because there's no money, there's no food in the house. They have to go and do these things. The point I'm trying to make is that many children are not faced with that. Okay, they're not hungry, right? They have, they're hungry and what have you. So what I'm trying to say to you is that many of these children and these families do not have that type of structure, right? So we have to start by saying we're improving the structure. That was interesting the other day after the politics. One of the things in the politics was they were thinking about discontinuing the Department of Education. And I said, what? So anyway, I listened to the argument, and when I heard the what the Department of Education does, for example, and learned that most of the children that are at risk, not only we're not talking about Jamaica, no, we're talking about the United States or any other, they can't read and write up to 95%. And this is the United States. So can you imagine what is happening in Jamaica, my friend? Can you imagine what is happening in Jamaica? It is the lack of knowledge, right, that has caused these and support from the beginning that has caused these people to develop this mentality. It's a trajectory. It's not overnight. I'm not trying to cast blame, as I said before. I'm looking at the reality in which you came, I came, and what have you. And we cannot compare it with what is happening. So we're not casting blame on anybody. What we're saying is we must be sensitized as to why these children are behaving. There are many factors, many factors. And I'm
I
sure.
will agree with you that there's many factors, but I just cannot. Yes, Deborah Morris, listen. I cannot just point the finger at the parent being at the root of the problem like you're doing. I'm just saying there are so many things that is removed from the parent because of the embracement of the first world country where a lot of people get Americanized. You're talking about the rules and regulations that and sanction that they would have faced to punish their child. There's just so many things that is removed from the time that we were growing. I'm saying these parents are challenging in really raising these kids the way that you're talking about, because there's a lot of interruption and there's a lot of things that is taken away from them. And
I'm not disagreeing with you that there isn't a challenge. That's not the issue. I'm not disagreeing you. I am saying to you that there is in fact a challenge because of the parent and so on and so forth. And I know that, but at the same time, what I'm saying is it has to start somewhere. And we have to start there. Of course, the infrastructure. In other words, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not blaming these women have these children. And in a case of study that I read some time ago with I use his name, Dr. Gale, he said that what happened is that the girl children kind of have a little chance in an environment like that. It's certainly, where there's no structure. But the guy, the son, that's for example, a boy, who his father has abandoned her, she will say, go on out the boy, you can't get pregnant, so you can go. And a lot of these things happen, so they end up in bad company, etc., in the environment in which they're going to learn bad stuff. Some of them come out of it, some of them don't, most of them don't. And I believe, though, based on what I have gleaned for myself over the years and what I know to be true, how crime develops and what have you in a society, that they have learned from other persons. They have learned, but if you train a child right, and you have control over that child, and you're not working full time or what have you. I mean, you're working full time, but you spend time to find out what they're doing. Do you remember? I think on this very program,
I think they're passing all the blame in the area of training and the parental the parental setup. And I can guarantee you that it's not all of these kids that was a part of it, of that situation or that scenario that you are.
I never said all. I never said all. All I'm saying.
And the part of it that none of them have that situation either, Dr. Francis.
No. But I'm saying, hold on. What I'm trying to say, okay, we begin there. That's why I never said that was the answer. I said that we must where we are coming from. Then what happens now? We have the school system. We don't have a regular, what do you call it, early childhood education in Jamaica. We don't really. Schools are made up of, with churches and what have you. They have the early child, but it's not a thing that the government embraces totally. So what we need to do is to find a way of get all concerned persons together, because what is going to happen if we can see a lot of girls coming out, as we saw some time ago, fighting and what have you. We see people boys and mainly boys going into robbery and scamming, etc., etc. You ask a young man what he wants to be now. You and I heard that one. That he said he wants to be a scammer at age 14, 15 because it's more lucrative. What I'm trying, how do we get there? So you're born, Your psycho, and then you go and you are influenced, and then the last one is your influence on a wider scale in your society. So I'm saying we have to try to fix the society to understand what the issue is, because I'm telling you right now, right, that I got a call today from a person. I'm gonna call her name, and the person is doing those things in those areas, and there are areas in Jamaica that this is not happening. So the question you must do is go and find out, try to establish throughout ways and means through the churches, wherever organizations is. We're not blaming the family. We're saying we have a problem, and if we do not, whether the child is born by a rich person, poor person, or what have you, let's put it that anybody, and they're out of control, they're out of control. So I'm saying we have to look at it in a broader context and say to ourselves, okay, how are we going to save these children and in fact save Jamaica? Right? We need runners still. We need nurses. We need teachers. We need what have you. But how can they get to learn if they're hungry and there's no incentive to do it? That's what I'm saying. So I'm literally saying the same thing, but in a different way.
I just think I hear you, but I'm trying to break it down and simplify it. I think a lot of it is stem from the system, the changes in the system, and the embracement of the modern world that we were not prepared for. Because when we accept the whole technology, which is the way we're going, I don't think there was any awareness that was placed into it, so that the parents and even the authorities was prepared to deal with the consequence of it.
Dennis, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the question is, how can we stop that? Remember, every child almost have a cell phone, right? Or some other gadget. So the question you have to ask, what I'm going your angle now. I'm going to, because that's a big step. How do we do that? So we have to find a way so that these children who are going into the schools, right? They're not trained, right? Many of the teachers are young too. They've never dealt with children. And then these kids are coming from certain areas that if you touch them picnic, the mother and father is going to turn up at school and you might get a bus ass yourself. So what I'm trying to say is that it is a trajectory. We have to find a way to get our country involved, all of us, whether here or there. Like what you're doing, okay. Let us use one of your schools. I'm not going to call the name. And you prevent breakfast. Remember that these people are not getting enough breakfast in the morning. They don't have no shoes to wear to the school. They don't have no uniform to. And when they leave school, they're more than likely be hungry. Right? And them say hungry man's a hungry man. Okay? But that is only one. So this is only one aspect of the things. We have a bigger problem in Jamaica,
What is a bigger problem?
Just in a situation where I don't know if they find killing sweet, or they don't want to work, or they want. But look at what has happened just in the past 2 weeks. So how do you go from where we are talking about the children to where we are then? So it's a trajectory, and we have to find a way to do it together. And I'm not blaming the government and all that stuff. I am saying to you, yes, the government has a responsibility to make sure that the necessary thing is out, that the police, everything is equipped to deal with the question. And that's a big question. Are they?
The government, all the government, both sides. Yeah, I'm not taking any side. I'm saying both sides. No, I know.
Anybody who has influence on the government,
I know.
The government itself or the opposition. That's what I'm talking about.
Jacoby, I support what you said. The system failed us. The political system failed us because they are busy fighting for power. And so we suffer. I'm trying not to be political about it, but I think they failed us because they're busy fighting for power. And anything that will make them look good, they're just going to integrate it in our society without bringing any awareness or making any preparation for it. They're just seeking credit because the next thing is to get vote and we have power. And so we suffer as a result of that. And all the punishment, nobody look at the
Dennis, Yes, the government has to have. That's what they should do. But we as a people, we are the ones who elected the government. So, and there are many people, right, who are also benefiting from the government or the opposition or any political situation. And what we are finding out is that certain populations, certain people are ignored. Right? There's no. Listen to me. The question you can ask when you mention this, for example, you ask yourself the question. You're not a churchman. We love church, right?
We love God. We love God. We love God. We love church. Because when they come
try to be technical. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about we love God. Let's put it that way.
Yes, thank you.
I'm just saying to you, we like the idea of a Christian gospel. Most of us. That's what we
like the whole idea of the church. Maybe just like the whole idea of the church, but I like what it become.
But the question is, we must love our neighbors and we must help each other. Do we do that? Do we do that? Listen to me. Let me say this to you.
We can't do differences. It's not that we don't. We just can't do it no more. Because of all the differences are who it depends on the magnitude of which you embrace this whole technology that we have imposed.
Yeah, you both blaming it on technology. No, it's not a question. It's like it is hold on. It is like a man raping at somebody or doing something bad to somebody or killing them and say, oh, it's because I saw a movie and I go do it. No, the person must have the mindset, which is what we are trying to address. We have a big problem with the mindset in Jamaica. Listen to me, my friend. There are many women who are going to Jamaica. Hold on, please. There are many women that are going to Jamaica to marry men in Jamaica, and there are many women who are going to marry up here and what have you. And chaos reigns in many areas. Some are lucky, as you can see. Some are lucky, but at the same time, what has brought it on that I have never heard, right? So much killing of people in terms of women and what have you from abroad and what. At one stage, it was even worse when a lot of expatriates were killed in Jamaica. And so the point I'm making is this: that we have to find a way to make people understand that if you want something, you have to work for it. And work doesn't mean physical work necessarily. It could be on the internet, what have you. But you have to decide yourself that you're going to market. But some people just want everybody's thing and they don't want to work for it. That's an issue too.
That's an issue too. So would you agree that we have multiple issues that would have contributed to the issue, the concern that we have? We're talking about crime in general, you know, and it is happening in a way that it's not something that we used to. We used to, you know, people doing act like those, but not at the magnitude of which. I know even last night, they just take out a woman, a bartender, and a guy down a chorus right down there. So just like that, first time a woman never be a part of all them something. A baby picnic never be a part of them something. So there's something that is changing.
No. What do you mean by take out? You mean they killed her?
Yeah. She loses her 3 points on the.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question. But look at the situation where this woman was building her house. That's what I understand, the one from England. And this father, the guy's, I think, father-in-law was helping to build the house. And he came over there and he decided to, you know, get in with the lady and so on and so forth. She eventually married him, bought him a Mercedes-Benz, right? Fixed up her house, go away now and coming home to her husband, spent the night, you know, and she ended up at home dead. You understand me? And this is and there's another one too. Last week that happened. She and her husband had a fight in Jamaica. She ends up dead in the bed. Okay. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is what could happen. And people are saying it is a man thing. No, I think it's a boy thing. For a boy to take care of a woman, but there are some women out there who I know can provoke a situation, but that doesn't mean that they must be killed, right?
Dr. Francis, let me answer this real quick. Do you think that our culture had shifted to where, you know, it's a get rich quick sort of thing, and that also driving our society in the level of crime that we're now
I
participating.
absolutely believe that yes, they get you know, some when a young man decides to build his grave at age 21, 22, that means that you don't plan to be here long. And so there's a lot of people who do not believe. They believe that cheating and stealing and doing things is like reparations. They did it to us, so we're going to do it. But we're not doing it to them, sorry. We are doing it to ourselves. We're doing it to our neighbors. We're doing it to our friends. Right? This whole scamming issue is a huge thing. Right? The whole drug thing is a huge thing. Right? So and then you're talking about human trafficking and all those things. Those things are happening in our country, whether we like it or not. It's happening in this country, right? It's happening all over. Okay, so the point I'm making to you is this: what we have to do. Listen, El Salvador. Do you know how they solve the problem, my friend? El Salvador in 1 year cut crime out completely. You know how they do it?
Tell me.
If you are a member of a gang, lock up. If you have a tattoo under the gang related, lock up. If you steal something, lock up. You understand me? And
I agree with that. Guess what happened though? They don't have an opposition in El Salvador to oppose the government from doing what they're doing. So you see, you come right back down to the whole political thing that where me and dealing doing that, Dr. Francis, where the politicians don't put us first. And the reason why they can't put us first is the two political parties fighting for power and vote. And so we are ignored in the process.
No, you know something? You said something right and you said something wrong there. They're not fighting for power and vote alone. They're fighting for money, I would imagine. That
comes with the power. That comes with the power.
Well, the point I'm making is that there are some, I am of the opinion that there are some good politicians in Jamaica. But I do not, I think that
which side in there? Just tell me which side in there,
why are you,
please.
Listen to me. I am not going to answer that question. Because you know I should not, I couldn't. How can I tell you which? I am not going to do that. I told you from the beginning. I believe that one of the things we are known for is our church and those bodies and what have you. And I believe that if we wanted to really resolve these issues, our churches will be out there and fighting for the people of Jamaica. Okay? And so the question I'm asking is, why are they not?
Why are they not what?
Right? How many people will listen to me, my friend? Some people understand that they are benefiting from what is the chaos that is going on. They are benefiting from what they don't know is that a bullet has no respect of persons. Right? And God is not asleep. None of them think you're going to live. No, nobody lives forever.
Yeah. Dr. Francis.
What?
No, I'm not going to tell you so God is asleep. I'm not talk about the existence of God. But I would prefer to leave out God and deal with it more realistically and to deal with
it. Dennis, what is more real than God?
Yeah?
Don't tell me to leave it out. I'm sorry.
No, Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis.
I think we have lost our soul. I think so. Yes, in many countries, that's what has happened. People have gotten greedy and they've lost their soul. And they've lost what is important. No, I'm not perfect, you know. I'm not perfect, but there's some things I will not do. Right? There's some things I will not do, and I'm not.
I just think that we have to be more practical with our reason and deal with it as it is. I'm not saying.
No. Hold on. Let me make it quite clear. We are on the internet. We are in social media. And what people are looking for is ways and means of perhaps making money or turning you into an ogre. They just wanted to say something that is totally untoward, and then you get people subscribing and so on and so forth, and not for the right reasons.
Before you even say that, though, please like and subscribe and also share, please. Head to Bluesmith channel. I want to make it to 3,000. pretty soon because you know what happened? Dr. Francis would have mentioned earlier of the things that we're doing. And I must say before I get back into that, Dr. Francis, yesterday it was the soft launch of the organization that I found, Jamaica Youth Assistance Program, that is going to be running our backpack and school supply program for next year. We'll be giving away 1,400 backpacks across the island to the rural schools. So those are the things that we're doing. So I'm asking you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, help to boost it so that we can build a better Jamaica. Because I am focused on the primary school, and the people behind me that is a part of my organization, they are dedicated as well to execute this mission. And so I have donated 450 backpacks with the help and assistance of some of my colleagues and friends, and people and these platforms. So we intend to do it bigger and better. So when I just now access to subscribe, we come listen to some gossip. You understand me? I'm going to update on what I go on. As if you follow my Facebook page, you'd have seen some things that we have done. And even YouTube, you'd have seen the things that we've been doing. So we are the greatness. Yesterday, a lady called me too, and she said she wanted a wheelchair. In 15 minutes, I was able to make 2 phone calls, and she is very much. She's a 300 pounder. She's on her and the way to get sized up. They're gonna measure her and get a wheelchair for her. So those are things I are dealing. But the crime, Dr. Francis, go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, you did your little advertisement. Let me make it quite clear. No, but I make it quite clear. We sent down hundreds of these things a couple of years ago, and we've been sending on a regular basis to various areas, especially the areas that were affected by burial and all that sort of thing, under the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force, and many other entities. Dean Roden's, under the regulatory, they're doing the same thing. And let me make it quite clear. In regards to Roden in the Augustown area, let me make it also fully clear that there has been none of these, and I hope that, and none of these things have been happening. And the MP of the area has also been visiting all of these events that they're having. So I want to let you know that you and others out there, many others, but the thing is, I'm arguing that we have to literally come together and work together, because Jamaica is, although small, is a big place, right? Mm-hmm. And we've left there, and we have to look after our communities, right? But you have to put it together, because when it goes in different, you don't know whose hands it goes into. Because you go down there with it, right? I myself. Yeah, exactly. But but you can't go do the whole Jamaica. So the point I'm trying to make is this: that's with the start. If we can go down and we can say, for example, you ask me the question, how do we do this? Well, as I say, you go 1, 2, 3. You first of all, you get these children to go to school somehow, and then you train them. If you make the anthem is a prayer. The pledge of Jamaica is a prayer. Right? Everything. So we get them to understand what is patriotism. Sell them those ideas, and sell them the fact that they can also, with the instruments they have, they can just become like India. I've said it so many times. Most of the areas in the world right now, Dennis, are run by Indians, Chinese, and Eastern people, because that's what they do. We have to start at the bottom and rise up. We don't necessarily do like El Salvador. Some of that we have to do. But we need to bolster the children so they become adults and what have you. Because some of the people right now, I don't know if we can manage them.
All right, Dr. Francis, let me just answer this question before we did you and I, which is older, was raised in the way you just you just prescribe or describe. Right? We were raised that way. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, along the way, we lost it. What happened? How did we lose it?
I think that families is the most important thing right now. And I think that we had a village that raised a child, And I think that we used to be more inclusive in the old days, and we should work with each other and so on. But I think that as we got bigger and broader, I think we got selfish, and we don't care, as they say in Jamaica. And some of us really don't understand what it is like to love Jamaica, and they believe that if they don't have to drive a certain car and do certain things, they don't really.
Why did we lose it though? Why? How did this?
Because the training was not. Dennis, I've been saying that from we started. The training has not been there. There's no infrastructure.
So the training stopped. So the training
Well,
was there when the
training has not suffered. Some people has not suffered. The majority of the underserved population, the poor population, yes, it stopped. Obviously.
What contributed to the sudden stop of it?
Well, I think
between then and now.
What's that?
What happened between then and now? Why the training just stopped abrupt, according to you?
Okay, if you have a child, and I go back to a child or a young adult or what have you, and he has no direction, he has nobody to as an example in that family, or they don't see any example, nobody to model. They're gonna model what they know. For example, that's how the scamming come about.
But Dr. Francis, me and you, blessings, sister, blessings. You look Steve for me, blessings. Now, I am saying, Dr. Francis, me and you did train that way. Something happened along the way that caused the sudden stop. And now we have no role model and all of that to follow. And I say, what areas would you call the thing that
well, this is your favorite one. And I know that's where you're going on, the music. This is what your favorite thing is, and I know you're very good at that. You drew it out of me. Yes, you did. You're saying it's the music, but it's not the music alone. I just spoke
technology without any awareness, and of course, the music in itself contribute immensely to the destruction.
Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is this: there's no punishment really in Jamaica for anything anymore. I mean, there's no punishment. There's no punishment at all. You can do the most rambunctious thing, and you either go to jail to get away or what have you, because you have the money and where you get the money from, nobody cares. If you sell a 17-year-old with a car that is worth $2 million, you don't care. You have to care, because remember, it's your car they're coming for next, or they're gonna come and rob you or something. So the point I'm making is that we have to be aware of what is happening. And all the sections that are designated to keep this awareness and to carry it out have to be themselves circumspect. The police, the military, everybody. We cannot just hide because we can go on vacations anywhere and so on. We have a country to build. And we cannot give away the country to other people. It is our country. It will never be a Chinese country. And Chinese will not be able, sorry about it, I have no problem with people who are white, but whatever, or language doesn't have our language. But I do have a problem with Jamaicans not being Jamaicans. Okay, the moment we decide on what our country is a #1 country in the world, then most of this will go. And the children are out there ready to learn, but we're not teaching them. We're not teaching them. And listen, I was in music before.
It's very hard for you to argue the point where you won't point the finger where, because of whatever fear. You are saying it's that from young. Yes, I will agree with that. But there's an upstairs that is causing the
listen, let me tell you, you're a very tricky young man.
No, you're tricky. You don't want to tell the truth. So the problem is up at the top.
No, hold on. If the head of the stream is dirty, then the bottom must be dirty. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Listen, we all know who is doing the problems in Jamaica. We all know who is doing it. Okay, but nobody is talking. Well, you ask another Jamaican, don't ask me. Because I remember, they tell me, they tell me that I run away from Jamaica. No. I want you to listen to what I'm saying before you cut me, sir. I am saying, they said I run away from Jamaica. I'm not interested in Jamaica. And so I must leave Jamaican business alone. So all I'm saying to you out there, all you people, now see what is going to happen. If we as Jamaicans don't unite together, they're going to destroy our beautiful country. And whoever there is, I'm not going to follow. Let me say,
don't care. And that's why nobody run behind this change of government right now and feel that they're going to solve the problem. That's not the problem. No better earn, no better burn. What are the same thing? Politics are matched up with country, Dr. Francis, because all they care about is their power, their pocket, and don't give a rat's ass about the people.
Dennis, let me tell you, you just sounded like a family member of yours, and that is really rough to even think of. The fact of the matter is, what? No. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you, my friend. It is our responsibility to elect responsible governments, and that the governments that can change. And governments that are willing to look after the people and so on. Listen to what I'm saying.
Francis, what? Yeah. I don't like the government. I acknowledge some people where participate. See Fresh 1000, Jacoby, yes, Elizabeth, a friend for a long time, and the Crazy Jet, and some other people they are going with them thing. Thank you guys for being a part of this evening discussion. And I'm asking you please to like, share, and most of us subscribe. And I would have mentioned earlier, we're just not a platform that just talk because we can talk. We are doing things because we're making a difference. Just follow me and whatever Facebook, wherever platform you see me, and then just look and you will see the things that we are doing. Dr. Francis, continue.
Let me say this to you. I want to reinforce what you've just said. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of platforms out there who chat this and chat that, who say this and say that, talking about how the woman them go to come to Jamaica and get them wine up and this and that is what I... No. We shouldn't go that way. Right? And then Sutherland is not going that way. What he's trying to do is make people aware. He goes a little weird sometimes when he tries to get me to say things that I don't want to say. But the fact of the matter is this, though, that he needs subscribers. He needs people to support what he's doing in order to go where he's going. No, you don't have to like me, because many people don't like me no more because they claim that I kill off people at Green Bay and they claim that I kill off people.
Politics.
What? No, hold on. It's not a politics. That's just nastiness. It's not politics. It's nastiness. That is what is wrong with our people in Jamaica. We try to tear down the people who want to do better for the country and just give them names and what have you. And people ask me, the other day with the elections in the United States, who me vote for. Mr. Who me vote for is my business. My business. One man go and say, boy, yes, me know say he's a Trumpite and you this and you that and the other. Now, the fact of the matter is this, that, the fact is that most of us in Jamaica are indeed conservatives. And I want to address that issue, right? And just that, and some of the things that we tolerate, it's terrible. Terrible. Even to think about. And so, what my view is, yes, we live in both countries, but we have to be aware of both countries, and we must come together, Dennis, as I'm coming with you tonight, and talk about our issues so that we can resolve them as best as possible. Listen to me. They say we don't live there. We don't want to vote in Jamaica. Vote. But do whatever we want to do. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, you must vote for the fact that improvement in the life of those that are the least among us. That's all I'm saying. So I am not going to go and say go vote and go change this and so on and call people white man and all.
No. I'm not into the whole voting and political thing. I'm just saying, all I'm saying, because I want to remain neutral to the best of my ability. I'm just saying that both political parties are SHI something, and no better earn, no better burn. They are bringing down our country to benefit them pocket and to gain them power. None of them is good for us. The truth is, we have to work with them. So, but
Dennis, another thing is, we as Jamaicans up here sit on our fannies and not do anything but criticize and what have you. We don't even vote for the people who in our municipalities and what we need more representation.
Some Jamaican. So they sit down up here for their finance and not do it. Remember, I said, I try my best and you are trying to. So we are doing thing. I am saying
Hey,
we
hold
just
on.
want people to follow what we are doing.
Brethren,
So fix up
brethren,
your hard work, brother.
my young brother, listen to me carefully, man. A old bull, this one, you're a young bull. Listen to what me I try to tell you.
May I tell you to fix
The
up your hard
people
work,
them, listen, if you
because
want
some
to
close my
sit
yard,
up for your body, you not get no change. You have to go out there and influence change. You can do it that quiet way.
But I'm not doing that.
What?
I influence change, but not in a political way.
Did I listen? Change is change, whether political or not political. Change is change, my brother.
Change is not change. Now when you're political, now when you're going to take out the current administration and get one another one.
Dennis, who pay you to come tell you so we check out this new administration? Who tell you? Somebody pay you?
I am not saying to you the answer is not there. The truth is not. They got the angle. They got the angle. Yes, they got the angle, but they are not doing nothing for us. The only thing we don't want to do is benefit themselves. That's all me I said to you, sir. So let us not look to them for nothing again, right? We just need to do our part.
Who are we talking about now, Dennis? You change what we're talking about.
No, because we just want to correct something where it's about in that political space. I mean, I tell you something, I really I support them neither side because they are just nothing but a piece of SHIT.
My brother, let's talk in generalities and tell the people out there who are listening tonight, who are very concerned. Are they safe in Jamaica? Are all Jamaicans safe in Jamaica?
No.
Some people are. Hold on, let me explain something. My brother, there are some people in Jamaica that you them not touch them family because they know say if they touch them the family. You understand me? All hell break loose. Are you with me? And this is from the top to the bottom. You understand me? And the fact of the matter is we have to start looking at Jamaica as a whole. We must at least own our own country. We must at least look after our own and look after our own people. Because they're the ones who are going to go to the Olympics and show, and me and you going to run. Them going box, them going to run and going to do this and so on. We have to depend on the now generation to do those things. And they're so talented. And when I say this, I'm not talking about scamming. We have the best teachers. We have some of the best nurses. We have the best, whatever you can, professions in the, many of us. So I'm saying if many people can cooperate and do that, right, from nothing, then it can be done. So whoever is trying to hold back Jamaica, we know, and the people must know for themselves. We cannot do it for them. They have to do it for themselves, but we can influence the situation.
Politicians in general, both sides, and them are hold down Jamaica. That's all I'm saying. I can't keep playing. I mean, no, enough people now want to hear this because they're thinking a change of government will be the answer, but because they are so busy playing politics, seeking power, and promoting poverty for us so that they can maintain their power, we are suffering and we're not going nowhere no time soon because the one of them is a piece of something we don't want to call out.
Dennis, you know something? Look at
very emotional.
The background I had tonight was not intended. But everybody out there know them call me the Labour man who turn against the Labour government. Not so. I have not turned against anybody. All I'm saying is there but for the grace of God goes I. I was born as a little barefoot boy. Right? On the North Coast. And if I can reach you, I reach. I don't still don't reach nowhere. Great.
Yeah, but, you reach, right?
Well, okay, fine. But the point I'm making is but nobody can say I have left people behind. I've always advocated, as a matter of fact, somebody just came to my mind and I'll make a call soon. You know, because I'm telling you this. That is our job. The Jamaica Defense Force, which I was a member of for many, many years. The people still know who I am, what we are interacting on a day-to-day basis, etc., etc. I want more things that we want to remember where we're coming from. And there are tactics that we can use. And don't listen to other people. People can say, oh, you go there thief. Anybody who tells somebody thief, you remember say them thief first.
Dr. Francis, the crazy jet said the politician only cater for the Chinese and the foreign investors. Because I don't know my benefit from, and that is so much true. And me and you as Jamaicans are left behind. They can do a lot more for secure Jamaica. They can do a lot more for education. They could do a lot more for the health industry. They not do it because they're in it for themselves.
Yes, I agree with you that some people are there for themselves. But you have to look at the landscape out there. People, everybody is doing their
That
own
number,
thing.
what number you talking, Donovan? Sorry, Dr. Francis. Tell me what number you're talking. It's drop the number, brother.
Well,
Let's show a number where I can be reached.
you can also have them reach me if they want to, I mean, once they declare who tell me a text first and so on and say it's so and so, but because me not answer no number that me not get a text from. Not doing it.
Okay.
You can give them my number and I have no problem with it, but you have to tell me who you are because I'm not answering nobody and waste my time. So listen to me now. Dennis, let me say this to you. I encourage people that I listen, tell other persons. You can go on the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force on Facebook, right? You can see me in LinkedIn, right? You can see all the things I've done. I've been on radio and what have you and so on and so forth. Right now, I'm kind of taking a little cool out because, the father up above said we must take a little time out. And I'm taking a little time out, all right? And the fact is, though, on my day-to-day basis, every Jamaica, I know you love Jamaica. And if you love Jamaica really and truly, do me a favor. Tell the people and say this, some of them who we know. So this is not right. If you are doing the scamming, become an engineer, become a AI guru. Do whatever, because they're making thousands and thousands of dollars legitimately. You don't have a thief. Right? Right now, you don't have to put your money in the bank and fret in Jamaica. Right? You have to do it. Okay? You don't have to, listen to me, man. Jamaica is paradise. But there's a book called Paradise Lost. And there's another one by John Milton, Paradise Regained. So we need to regain the lost paradise. Yes, and you can run up your mouth and say it's not true.
Me not say not true. Me just tell Donovan, if you look at the bottom of the screen, the lower part of the screen, you see the number. I don't know if that's what you're requesting. The lower part of the screen, there's a number. Just bring up your face, man. I said, what am I not getting? I'm gonna pull it back out here, man. You're not so good looking now. You're not so good looking.
Dennis. First of all, let's just clarify this good looking piece here. Always the premier. If you'd want to know whether I'm good looking, you are how many years younger than me? So let's get there. And you go look
at that. That's why they can't compare me. So not even by that goddess. We're in two different classes.
Dennis,
because you're 43 years older than me.
Dennis, the only reason I don't shake you up more is because I like you. If I never like you, I shake you up, you jump out of the chair and run. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be bantering, but we are serious patriots of Jamaica. We love Jamaica.
Indeed.
And that is the key. When a man said, well, if you love, if you know Dennis Sutherland, Dr. Francis or what have you, you can say them, the man, they can come and you can listen to me. And if me I tell lie, make them come and say, if a man say a lie, I tell, you tell them to come on here. I dare them come on here and tell me say a lie, I'm telling. Right? And I will tell.
But then I say a lie, I tell Dr. Francis, but you still have something so you're not you hold on something so you feel people, and the people who you feel are most politicians.
Hold on, listen to me now. Let me say this to you. Hold on, man. Let me tell you. You make a statement, I'm going to answer you. In all my political life, and I was in politics, you must ask anyone, bring up any speech. If I've ever criticized or called anybody's name, I don't do it. I don't have Dennis Sutherland's money to go and defend any bullshit in court. I don't have the time for that. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is that I do not get in the habit of calling people's name unless I have the facts, and the facts are correct and have been verified. Okay? So my view is you can get, it's not every, you can use honey sometimes. Don't use vinegar if you to work on somebody. Just be nice and calm. Hopefully it will work. And let me say this to you. Dennis, whether you like it or not, and it's true, the call to action, which was this bad, which was done at dirty, was a thing that brought people to life in this country, right? Because of what we did in those few months that we were together. And let me make it quite clear, it is still together. But I do believe that some people deliberately wanted to mash it up because they say it is so effective. But it is the first time in the history of this country and our country that any group of persons went and came and called the government to boot. Any government. And the opposition. Okay? The history is there. And we didn't have to call, and I didn't call any names. Okay? But I'm saying to you right here and now, if we want a prosperous Jamaica, we really have to decide what we call a prosperous Jamaica. We have to work together for it. Listen to me. A lot of people don't know. All they want to do is meet the Prime Minister and say, I met the Prime Minister, get an old dog or something like that, I call it, or get an accolade or what have you. The fact of the matter is, that is not Jamaica. What we want to know is that you can come and you can go anywhere, go to the beach, go anywhere, and nobody's going to attack you, rob you, or what have you.
Okay. But not pay attention to that. They not pay attention to it. They not pay attention to it.
Who's not paying attention?
No, Mr. That's where me I look for too, but they're not paying attention to us.
They are, Dennis. You may stop saying that because tonight, there are people out there who are listening. They're going to say, yes, see them boy, they're talking the truth or whatever, man, I'm serious about Jamaica and all that. All we have to do is to continue doing what we're doing and not be afraid to do it. But we don't have to do it by bashing other people. The moment you bash people and so on and so forth, the moment they get the backup. They get the Prime Minister.
I am not bashing the Prime Minister. No. I am bashing Jamaica politicians in general. All of them are the same thing. They never look out for it. They not look out for it. And we can't grow if we are dependent on them. So the best way is
but my friend, listen to me. But Dennis, historically though, there are some prime ministers and there are some ministers who have looked out for the people. And you cannot say categorically that they have, because that is why, for example, every now and then you hear the name Michael Manley being mentioned. Because Michael Manley, they will say, did that.
Dr. Francis, Michael Manley has done and he dead and gone and all of them. No, we need to look at that. We don't even want to talk about
Derek, that's a very unfortunate statement, because let me make it quite clear.
We need to live in that now. Hello. Only for people still live in Michael Manley and Michael Manley umbrella and it not exist no more. We could live in that now and deal with
No, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You're talking about, but you cannot forget the past. And I'm not talking about him alone, right? You're not talking about him alone. You have other people on both sides, Bustamante, what have you. You have to think about those people. Norman Washington Man is here. These people were.
Before me. I'm living in now.
The fact of the matter, the only way you're going to live in the now, Dennis, is if you recognize what happened in the past and you don't repeat it. Right? It's when you repeat the foolishness, then that's what happens.
Me too young to speak for what in the past. And you have to tell me that. So me sit down and listen to you. And you tell me what happened in the past. Because we can't live down there, so I have to live right now. And what I am
saying there is a saying, Dennis, there is a saying. Those who do not respect history will have a habit of repeating it. If you don't remember history, you're going to repeat it. And that's
not today if that call ever come true. Call your life, what? King man. That's what say you the caller?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You are playing the background, so
yes, I'm turn off the background now.
I have to turn off the background.
I'm telling you.
Where you're showing that background.
Yeah, we have feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I laugh and me still I big up your team still because no, yeah, we laugh for your team there. Respect to everyone, man.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. We allow for your teach how your people your team Dr. Francis and you're changing baby.
Me not teasing. I tell him, sir, he needs to stop hide and come out and talk the truth because Francis is a good man. Love him, we love him, but you have to Dr. Francis now. Dr. Francis said, I hide for some people and I want to say what he said. So through that, my talk, you know, talk straight in some areas. And then that's not custom about.
I'm not what about Trump?
In some areas, because point the fingers and talk. You know, have to call no name, brother. But you have to talk the truth and say what the problem is. None of the politicians for either side is not healthy for us. They not do nothing for we. They don't care about we. They might deal with their power and their pocket.
But hold on, I don't understand. I don't understand.
You know what news to say? This is a new child when it comes to the politics.
But I don't know if Dr. Francis in that gear and he new child. I don't try to pull out time. I know if he new child and in that gear.
New child, man. You can't say it's a new child, man. You tell you history, you know. When you listen to history, you have to say new child. You know that.
I'm not trying to see if he in that gear or not. But
yeah.
We're going to show you now. I'm not here to spread the word. You say it.
You can't hear it?
Yes, man. I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you. I know exactly what's talking, by the way. I know exactly
I made that man long in my teenage years, you know. I'm not telling him, and he can tell me if that makes him. Ask him if he might hear me, Dr. Francis. Nice to meet you and talk to you. You used to work at the JDF, right? You used to work at the
Yes.
You used to work in the recruiting department.
You used to work in the recruiting department, Francis?
The what department?
Recruiting.
Yes. I did recruiting.
Recruiting, yeah.
The military police.
I see the next say yes, because I can't turn it up.
Yes.
And you say yes, but you said yes?
Yes.
Yeah, man, we know it well, man. I tell him, say, when you come take the test, man, I want to tell you the story how the only man when we come up, they come take the test 2 times. But you should say, 2 times we come take the test. And I tell him, say, Dr. Francis was the only man. The man, he must say, all right, when you get to take the test, right? The man, when you come outside, like they show up about 8 o'clock. It was right inside, the place where I sit the test now. But it was all the man who check the man, the man like read a car, and go there, you know. You see outside, before you go to the test, the man give a hell out there, man. You see what that is.
But yeah, Dr. Francis never gave a hell time.
No, man, I will check the man them. Then check the man them. And tell the man them, say, stop by the man them and let the man them, you know?
Okay. So, you can't in late tonight, can we all put in the show here now? Can we have some things to do? We have the whole things to do, like...
Well, what he's trying to tell you is that
yes, like my calling and get a better connection, because we can't, feel a connection right now.
Tell him my number, man. Tell him my number. Tell him my number.
Dr. Francis' number.
Next time, yeah.
I'm going to drop your number too.
All right.
All right, cool. Mm-hmm.
Listen, Dennis, let me tell you
Dr.
something.
Francis, somebody finally tell you good man. Tell me your number and put in that sitting there. Before we come off of that sitting there. I'm going more upon your tower, man. I can't tell me say you're good somebody. I mean, not like that. Which one number you want me to give?
Me? The 909-994-2490.
909-994. What?
2490.
2490. Dr. Francis number. I'm going to go call him and cuss him out. Because me and I live good tonight. Because I'm call him and cuss him out. And tell him
Let me tell you something. One of the things, I remember that.
1 minute I will wrap up because things got done.
I want to wrap up, but I want to say this to the caller who was in the JDF. They used to say that these guys have flat feet. And so they couldn't take them in the JDF if you have flat foot. What I said to him, what the hell, you know this man have flat foot? He said, foot flat. I said, your foot not flat too. Let him alone, man. Are you listening to what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
In the old days, they run with the good soldier them and send them a flat foot. I don't agree with that at all. I mean,
no. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation. I'm looking forward to see you guys next week about the same time. We're going to deal with more time because the truth is that Francis get me carried away. I'm going to really deal with the issues that we're supposed to be dealing with. Next week, Dr. Francis, we have to deal with the issues in the news one-one. You understand? And deal directly with them and stop behind and cover and shield some people. And that's what I tell you. If you're bashing thing, you're bashing thing. If you're not bashing thing, nobody come. Nobody make do it. But they have to talk the truth.
Dennis, let me tell you something. I will be beginning my blog soon. And
this is where you're beginning. But
I am saying, but you will be invited, and I will treat you with the same respect as you treat me.
Wow.
And if you hold on, that means you have hell to pay if you try to mess with me. Hell to pay. Okay.
Thank you very much. But Dr. Francis is all right. I am just a man of the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by tonight.
Thank you, everybody. Tell them to like, share, and subscribe for you now.
Like, share, and subscribe to Sutherland TV.
No.
And please share. And for those of you who would have heard the things that I mentioned earlier that we're doing, we are indeed doing it. So follow us on Facebook. We have a new Facebook page that's coming out pretty soon. So that you guys could hop onto it and we will be very transparent with the things that we are doing. Dr. Francis, ugly though you be, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, man. One love. Ladies and gentlemen, so Dr. Francis number at the bottom, that's a 909-994-2490. I mean, I know him, that's what 99 number. Anyhow, Take care, have a good night, and we'll talk later. Look forward to see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Big up Sutherland TV. You see me? You wanna be me? Then log on to Sutherland TV.